Oh, this mood lighting, I like it a lot. Music history and music history. Today's music history is Johanna Magdalena Beyer. She was an electronic, modern, classical composer. So, she was born July 11th, 1888 in Germany, making her a Cancer the Crab. She was a German poet and the first female composer to compose music for electronic instruments back in the 1930s. She sang and studied piano, dancing, theory, harmony, percussion, and counterpoint. She earned 2 degrees at Mannes College of Music and taught piano. Wow. Go Johanna. In 1936, her play, The Modern Composer, debuted, for which she wrote the lyrics, composed the incidental music, choreographed the modern ballet, designed and created the costumes, slides, and advertisements, directed the production, and performed the piano part. Although she did not reach notoriety during her lifetime, her compositions and her percussion music have since been noted as influential. She died from ALS compilations January 9th, 1944 in New York at the age of 55. Johanna Magdalena Beyer. Okay, we're also going to be reading from this history, More Shocking Secrets in American History, 103 Surprising Amusing Tales by Bill Coate. I know I've mentioned this one before. I've read from this one before. It's really good. Going to talk a little bit about the Revolutionary War again. The Boston Massacre, the Boston Tea Party, and the Stamp Act Revolt. These acts of disobedience that led to the Declaration of Independence are well-known episodes on the pages of American history. They are not, however, the only examples of defiant outburst of colonial frustration with British rule. British rule. In 1772, the royal governor of New Hampshire stirred the cauldron of discontent so furiously that it boiled over into a full-fledged riot, and it was all over a tax on trees. The conflict started when the governor, John Wentworth, decided to collect a tax on the pine trees that were being cut by Ebenezer Mudgett, owner of a mill in South Ware, New Hampshire. On April 13th, 1772, Wentworth sent the county sheriff and deputy to either collect the tax or arrest the lumbermen. Little did they know how much support Mudgett had in his hometown. By the time the sheriff and his deputy reached Ware, that's the place they were at, remember? It sounds weird. Night had fallen, so they got a room in Aaron Quimbley's inn, which was ironically called the Pine Tree Tavern. The innkeeper had no sooner registered the guests that he sent word that the king's men had come to Ware to deal with Mudgett. The news spread like wildfire, and within an hour a mob of Ware residents was on its way to Quimbley's Inn. The protesters darkened their faces and then slipped into the inn and up to the sheriff's room. The lawman and his deputy were aroused from a deep sleep when the men burst into their room. In a moment the duo found themselves completely subdued. One of the Ware tax protesters then produced a switch from a pine tree. While his cohorts held the 2 tax collectors by the arms and legs, the man then switched to ply to their bare backs with great dexterity. For 1 lash for each tree they wanted to tax. And then they were ran out of town. There you go. Johanna Magdalena